A journey begins with one small step. It doesn't matter how hard you hit, whether you win or lose. What matters is that you have a common goal. And to reach that goal, it takes a band of brothers acting as one. Every week, we come together to witness these gladiators of the gridiron pour their heart and soul onto the field. This is Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome to Blue Jays Stadium in Espy, Columbia County. Tonight, it's a Pennsylvania Heartland Conference interdivisional matchup between Lewisburg and Central Columbia. A pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide. Welcome to week number 9 of high school football here on MyTV WQMY. Joining me topside tonight, Hall of Fame coach Stan Kaharski, Paul Grippy. He'll join us on the sidelines shortly. Well, Coach, one thing we do know about these two teams, they are headed for the District 4 3A playoffs. Where the seedings are going to be, still up in the air. Big game here tonight.
It is. Placement for the districts is very, very important in terms of who your next opponent's going to be. We have to remind our viewers that both teams still have a game left after this, so both of these games are going to be very important.
The Green Dragons coming off a tough loss to Jersey Shore, which cost them the Division I title in the Heartland Conference. They're trying to get back tonight. They'll need a big game from our Plaza House spotlight player, Max Moyers.
I'm excited to see this game because we followed Max Moyers statistically just throughout the previous weeks. He's remarkable for a sophomore. He's 1,400 yards plus on 171 carries, and he is really the focal point of the Green Dragons offense.
The Blue Jays coming off a big win over Warrior Run. They'll need a big night tonight from their other running back. Our Plaza House Furniture Spotlight player is on Isaac Gensimer.
He's going to go over 1,000 yards as well tonight. So we have a parallel. We have two good tailbacks. We have two quarterbacks that can really throw the ball relatively well. They're both very balanced teams, although their forte is to run the ball.
Beautiful night for high school football in central Pennsylvania. Let's check out the weather now with Mike Linden from the Fox 56 News, first at 10.
Temperatures getting back into the mid-40s, Bob, which is actually a little warmer than where we've been lately, kind of hovering around the freezing mark of 32 degrees. We owe that all to the winds coming in from the south, which do likely remain light overnight, but it is also possible that by the time the game is over, we could be looking at some very light showers working their way back into the region. But again, all in all, the silver lining here is that the increasing cloud cover likely to keep us nice and insulated here at the surface compared to where we've been lately.
Thank you, Mike. Central Columbia has won the last two meetings between these two teams. Lewisburg trying to break that trend tonight. The opening kickoff and the starting lineups are next.
Do you know a student or fan of tonight's game? Call them now and tell them they can watch on any computer, tablet, or smartphone wherever they are. Go to fox56.com for a high-quality live stream right now.
Here come the Green Dragons trying to rebound after a tough loss a week ago. Home team, the Central Columbia Blue Jays, looking to make it a third win over Lewisburg. We are back in SB getting set for tonight's Heartland Conference game. The third member of our crew, as always, is Paul Grippy. And Paul, Central Columbia's line is pretty good, but young.
They are young, they are good, and they heavily count on them. You know, Central Columbia is going to be running that toss sweep all night, and Coach Kaharski will describe that a little more as we go. But this offensive line for the Jays has done a great job. Owen Gaynor, Logan McWilliams, Alex Evelyn, Elijah Heinzelman, and Derek Stamatides have been terrific. Two of them are sophomores, and tonight they're missing LJ Woodward. He's been out for a few weeks. He developed some kind of viral infection that kept him in the hospital. He is at the game tonight, not playing, but a lot of success this season. The reason is because of that offensive line, and they'll carry the Blue Jays tonight and into the playoffs. Bob?
Thank you, Paul. Lewisburg won the toss. They deferred, so Jack Diefendorfer will do the kicking. Number 5, Johnson and Bradley back to receive. The low kick. Taken by an up man. Central will have the ball at the 27-yard line. So our first look at Trey Devlin. He is a senior. He's thrown for 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, Coach.
Smart, athletic, is a graphic tells us. He's had a pretty good year to maintain a balance offensively for his Blue Jay teammates.
Getting looked at by some Division II schools. A little worry about his height. He's just about 5'11", listed at 6 foot tall. Central comes out averaging 33 points per game. They'll be in the I formation. Gensimer hit by a couple of Green Dragon tacklers. Ghosts and Weezer there on the tackle.
That's a toss sweep back to the two receiver side. Kind of a second and 8.
Here's the offense for the Blue Jays, brought to you by Toyota. Jack Schechterly gets a couple carries, 31 on the year, has 2 touchdowns. There are the receivers. Morrison, the leading receiver, 20 catches on the year, 312 yards. Up front, as Paul just mentioned, young but pretty talented. Devlin's first pass, no pressure, gonna go long. Just out of the reach is Xander Bradley. There's the flag. This one going against Lewisburg.
A little play action out of a 2 receivers set to the bench of flag on the play. Throws a nice spiral just outside of the receiver's hands. And that was Xander Bradley, the top receiver.
Pass interference
for the Blue
defense.
Jays.
15-yard penalty. Yardage will give him a first down.
That'll be a 15-yard penalty. And that'll
Mark
be
Clark, our referee tonight from the Heartland Conference. Well, this will give Central a first down up past the 40.
One of the challenges for the Blue Jays offensive front with some inexperience but have gained some experiences is the size of the down people for Lewisburg. 290, 290 in the middle. And that's going to present a challenge. They've got to move those people.
Where Lewisburg has had the problems, Coach, on defense has been the running game. They give up 155 yards per game, so we're going to look for that early on.
Well, that's not an exorbitant amount of yardage for a full game, but still it's significant.
Gensimer, about a yard, if that.
Almost for a loss that time, Bob. They managed to shove off a couple of would-be tacklers. Here you'll see it again. It's a little bit of a power play.
Ball's being spotted at the 46-yard line.
Nice job done by number 4, Coleman Witherite.
Dominic on the tackle.
Only a couple yards on that, and Gensimer, as we profile, 20 yards away from 1,000 on the year. There's Scott Dennis, 3rd season here with the Blue Jays. Former Holy Redeemer coach for a couple years. Here's that toss sweep again. Gensimer can't get to the corner. Great defense by the Dragons.
Picks up about a yard.
Here is that defense from Lewisburg, who gives up 19 points per game. Dakota Snyder on the outside, 28 tackles, 5 for a loss for the senior. The linebackers are very good. Graydon Feldman has 60 tackles on the year, 4 of those for a loss. In the secondary, they could be tested tonight. Ronnie Lentz is in the middle. 4 tackles for a loss, does have an interception for the senior. 3rd and long on the way. Devlin with plenty of time. Goes downfield and has Morrison. 16-yard gain into Green Dragon territory.
Devlin was removed from the pocket with a sprint to the right side of the football field, and Eli Morrison was wide open along the same sideline for a first down. Morrison is the 2nd leading receiver for the Blue Jays.
Devlin's big game this year at quarterback, 174 yards and 4 touchdowns against South Williamsport. So they can put the ball up in the air. Good job by Devlin with the hard count.
You got to watch the football when you're in the front there.
Devlin's a 2-year starter at quarterback.
Before the snap, false start. I'm sorry. Schmidt. Defense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
And Devlin's threw for 1,500 yards last year, 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
Well, when you have a great tailback, sometimes you're, as a coach, you're a little reluctant to throw as much as perhaps you could.
Good opening drive by the Blue Jays. Schechterly in the middle with room. Gain of 10, another first down for the Blue Jays.
That's just a dive play to the right side of the offensive line. You'll see here they come off pretty hard. Schechterly does a good job of picking up a good 5 yards.
Schechterly with some nice size, 6'2", 190 pounds, a senior. Run for 192 yards on the year. Devlin to the other side, picked off. Intercepted with room. Ramirez with the INT, and not a good pass by Devlin.
No, the ball got away from him. He sprinted to his left. It's a little bit more difficult for a right-handed quarterback to go to his left and throw the football. Doesn't really get his hips around as much as he should, and he just overthrows his receiver.
Ramirez's 4th interception on the season. Lewisburg in business with that drive. Here now, Vic Shaleski will see for the first time tonight. He's got nice size, 6'3", 215. He's thrown for 800 yards, 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And you look at him, he's got quarterback size.
Yes, he does, and I guess he throws the ball pretty hard, according to his coach. We spoke to him before the game, sometimes a little too hard.
Well, he is a baseball prospect looking at some Division I schools. So this is Moyer, and we'll see a lot of the sophomore tonight. And why? Because one of the biggest offensive lines that Central has seen all season.
Moyers is having a great year for a sophomore, or for any running back for that matter. Over 1,400 yards and 20 touchdowns.
We'll end around. Good job by Ethan Dominic, the freshman, number 9, picks up a first down, just past the 47, gain of 12.
Earlier in the season, Coach Persing mentioned that he's got a dynamite pair in Moyers and in Dominic. That was a speed sweep out of a spread formation. Picked up enough yardage for a first down.
I think we're going to see a lot of offense here tonight, Coach. You know, Lewisburg averaging 32 points per game. And both pretty evenly matched up front. Back to Moyer. Great defense on the inside. Huntington coming in. Here now the Green Dragon starters, brought to you by Lewisburg. Saw a lot of Moyers and Shaleski back there. We're going to see 3 wide receivers for the Green Dragons, including Dominic, and then Lentz on the other side. Up front, as we talked about, Coach, big and strong, Grant Adams, right tackle, 6'2", 275. He's a senior. Moyer with room, shoots through and has speed. Pushed out of bounds inside the 10. A huge gain for the sophomore.
This play will show you why this young man's gained 1,400 yards. All it is a quick hitter in the A gap. He shows some excellent speed, keeps his balance there, and he's just short of the goal line.
A 50-yard jaunt for Max Moyers, and Lewisburg's in the Manuka Subaru red zone. Moyers hit up front by linebacker Seaschultz. First team PSAC, and he's 66 tackles for Seaschultz.
He's been their leading tackler throughout the year, and he did a great job to stop the Moyers right at the line of scrimmage. Bob, on our way down here, we talked about turnovers. Of course, last week, Lewisburg really hurt themselves with turnovers, and that was going to be our key, one of the keys of the game.
Well, right now, Central has the turnovers. Lewisburg last week fumbled the ball a lot. Warriors held on to that, but lost another yard. So the Blue Jays defense, which gives up 20 points per game, is holding on here.
Showed some quickness here and managed to get to the ball. Number 18 did a great job.
Garrett Carter, sophomore. So a big third down here and goal. Warriors again. There's the ball, comes out. It's on the turf. Looks like Central might have it. A scrum. And the Blue Jays recover inside the 10-yard line.
Did we just talk turnovers?
Just talk turnover, and Coach Persing is probably beside himself.
Yeah, especially inside the red zone. I mean, you're on about approximately the 5-yard line. Here you can see tackler comes in and strips the ball, and it's fumbled.
See, Schultz is down there, and I can't see who else had it. There's a big fight and scrum. But Lewisburg, again, coughing up the rock. And this time it cost him a touchdown. Ball come out to the 20. I'm not sure why that is.
Was it recovered in the end zone?
I don't think so.
It must have been. That's the only way they could spot it at the 20. Power backfield here.
So both teams with an early turnover. Cost both team points already. So Schechterly with a carry of about 4.
That was a quick hitter again, just a straight dive. One of the strengths of the Blue Jays offensive line is their quickness. They're young, but they've shown some quickness, and Coach Dennis said that that's one of their strengths.
There's that toss sweep. Gensimer, he's got room. And the big powerful back still on his feet. Up to the 40, gain of 16.
Coach Dennis said that there's not going to be a surprise here. They're going to run that toss sweep. Paul mentioned it prior to the start of the game. Again, a full house backfield, and they're leading the way, and Gensimer just plows his way to the 40-yard line.
Gensimer's not having the day he had against Hughesville. 8 carries, 157 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's efficient. Try that fullback again. And they're getting 5 yards on first down.
When they're getting off the ball like that, you're going to pick up those 4 or 5 yards. That's that quickness we talked about just a moment ago. Sometimes quickness can outweigh size.
Toyota key to the game for Lewisburg. Limit the big plays. They've done that so far. It's been the turnovers that have hurt them. Gensimer gets a block. Has good room. Tackled by Witherwright, but not after the Blue Jays are inside Green Dragon territory.
This play will succeed if you run it nice and tight. As long as you start heading north and south rather than towards the sideline, this is going to be an effective play. Good kick out block by the lead blockers that time, creating that seam.
Central's offense pretty good themselves this year. 356 yards total in all the games. Again, last week,
almost a wishbone look here, Bob. A wishbone look.
We're going to go long, and he's got Bradley. Bradley makes the catch at the 1.
That ball was in the air for about 50 yards. You see, steps into it, puts it right where he's supposed to put it, and he is down. His knee was down on about the 1-yard line.
He beat Ramirez off.
Yeah, it was just a go route. He just put the speed on.
And they do have speed. A lot of these players on Central do run track here and do it pretty well. First and goal. Gensimer in. Central's on the board first with a Plaza House Furniture touchdown.
One of the advantages of running that toss repeatedly is that you get the defense trying to play that particular type of offense, and sometimes your secondary falls asleep on the play action.
Gregory in now for the extra point.
This young man's a pretty good kicker. We watched him in pregame, and he was kicking some of them from 50 yards.
Could come down to special teams tonight. This extra point is up, and it is through. So the turnovers cost Lewisburg again. The Blue Jays lead 7-0.
Friday Night Rivals is brought to you by Toyota, Let's Go Places, Luzerne County Community College, Sunbury Motors, Keystone College, Plaza House Furniture, and Manuka Subaru.
After the kickoff out of bounds, Lewisburg will have the ball at the 35-yard line. And Coach, we talk about often how hard it is for a high school team to go 80 yards. Central Columbia that time took only 6 plays to go 80 yards and did it pretty efficiently.
Yes, they did. And again, that balance, you run the ball, get people conscious of that, and you have a quarterback. He threw that ball 50 yards in the air, and the receiver was able to outdistance the defensive back.
Against Shikellamy, the Green Dragons turned the ball over, but were able to overcome that. Last week they turned it over. They could not overcome Jersey Shore. One turnover has led to 7 points already for Central Columbia. Nice pass for Ramirez. Picks up about 19.
The reception takes it down to the 49-yard line, taken down the
That's that screen pass that everybody uses. They fake it to one side, and the wide receiver comes down towards the middle where the linemen are, and they can go downfield as long as the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
Excuse me, that was Dominic, the freshman, who caught that pass. Right near midfield. Moyer's already broken off a big one tonight.
Max Moyers takes it up the middle.
Up inside Blue Jays territory.
Taken down there by number 12, Ian Huntington.
Here's the defense now for the Blue Jays. Give up 20 points per game. Carter Crawford, 24 tackles, 4 sacks on the year. Linebackers, watch out for Garrett Carter, 59 tackles. Troy Johnson has 21 tackles and a tackle for a loss. There's your defense, brought to you by Toyota. Quick out, it's caught. Another first down for Lewisburg.
Romali Brown ran a 5-yard stop.
Taken down there by Zach.
Shedleski shows the strong arm there, puts the ball right on the clothesline.
10 for the Green Dragons.
Oftentimes we don't see that type of play used enough, Bob. The defense that the Blue Jays are in are 4 secondary people, 3 linebackers, 4 down people. Those corners are off. You can throw that all day.
Lewisburg trying to answer the Central Columbia drive. Moyer couldn't get the block he needed. The Central defense is there, and it was Carter Crawford with the tackle. Here now your Plaza House impact players, Coach, for Lewisburg. A couple guys on defense there. Weiser in the middle. Dobler's the leading tackler on the team. Ramirez already has an interception tonight.
Dobler has 70 tackles during the year.
Shaleski under pressure, gets it away, and it's caught. Great job by the freshman to come back for the ball.
Number 9, Ethan Dominic.
39-yard pass play.
I can see why the coach is really excited about these 2 young offensive players, Dominic and Moyers. You couldn't see it on the replay, but Dominic managed to kind of push off on number 7 to get himself in position to catch that football.
Make it a 30-yard gain. Inside the Manuka red zone again for the Green Dragons.
Shedleski was nearly sacked on that particular player. He had a guy hanging on him as he was able to release the football.
Up quickly, they may need a timeout. Nope, they get the ball off. Moyer, 2 hands on the ball now, up to 6.
Moyers ran to daylight that time. I think that was designed to go a little bit further inside towards the center and guard gap, and he bounced it out to the C gap
Ball's being spotted at the 7, bringing
between
up
the tackle and the tight end.
10 lost fumbles for the Green Dragons this year. First one of this game's cost them already. They need to answer here. Inside handoff, and Dominic going nowhere.
It was like a scissors play that time, Bob. A little bit of a misdirection, wing T type play. You'll see it here. It's actually is a reverse. Hand it to one back, and then the back handed it to the other back, coming in the opposite direction.
Lewisburg's been in the side the 10-yard line twice already, but they've been going backwards each play, it looks like. Need to score touchdowns in this game. Shaleski's got Dominic. He overthrew, shot him.
Shedleski's pass incomplete, intended for Ethan Dominic.
He had him out there, Coach.
Looks like we're going to see a field goal attempt. Just overthrew that time. Dominic ran what you might call an arrow, just straight towards the sidelines. The ball was just thrown too high for him to really attempt to catch it.
Jack Diefendorfer on to attempt the field goal.
So Diefendorfer will do the field goal. He is a long this year of 21 yards. This will be placed and held by Ramirez at the 15. So if he makes this will be the longest on the season. Snap good, kick good. It's a little left, and it went through.
Just inside the left upright. What we've seen in high school football in our area over the last decade or so is a lot of kickers who are full-time soccer players or who are full-time soccer players kick for the football team. And that's great to see that relationship between the coaches of both those sports. The young man can step onto the football field on Friday night and be a place kicker.
Nice drive at 59 yards. Gets 3 points on the board for Lewisburg. So that's a good response. You want to get something out of it.
It is, but it's a little disappointing to get down inside the red zone 2 possessions in a row and come up with 3 points is certainly not what you want on a regular basis.
Well, they didn't fumble the ball, so they didn't turn it over. So you have to think positive.
Oh, turnovers. The bane of coaches. We talk about ball security over and over again.
This one's squibbed again and picked up. And with room, shooting through was Blaze Williams. Good field position for the Blue Jays, just past the 40.
It appears that neither team really want to kick the ball to the deep returners. And before the game, we were told that we'd see some kickoffs into the end zone.
Haven't seen that yet.
No, we haven't.
As we come near the end of the first quarter, here are your Plaza House Furniture impact players for Central. Well, we've seen C. Schultz already make some plays at linebacker. Bradley has the big catch. Huntington, he's got a defensive play as well, so some good players.
Exactly. Impacts galore.
Timeout called by Coach Persing, I believe, right before the snap. Yep. First timeout of the half for Lewisburg.
They have 2 remaining.
Good timeout called. Obviously, Coach saw something he hasn't liked.
Well, that was a different set that Central put on the field that time. The previous sets, they were in a full house backfield, almost a wishbone type set, tight ends. And this possession, they came out and spread it out.
Paul Grippy down on the sidelines with some more information. Paul?
Hey, Bob, we needed to get into a little more about what this game is all about, at least heading into districts, which is in 2 weeks. So we'll see where these teams stand. They're actually 3 and 4 seeds in District 4 AAA. And you can see the top seed is Danville. That's not going to change. Montoursville's right there. So neither Lewisburg nor Central Columbia will catch those two. But tonight's winner will be number 3, and the loser will be number 4. But if you see 5, 6, and 7, Shamokin, Loyalsock, Athens, they're all 4 and 4, and it's real tight. Looking ahead to Week 10, Central Columbia obviously plays their rivals, Bloomsburg. They're AA, but they're 5 and 3, and that rivalry will be a good game. Lewisburg will play Mifflinburg, who right now is 2 and 6. Mifflinburg would be the 9th seed in AAA, but if they can win their last 2 games, they can get into the district playoffs. So Mifflinburg will be playing serious football tonight and next week. So it's a 3-round playoffs for AAA. 8 teams get in. but Lewisburg and Central Columbia definitely want to be home teams for those playoffs. Bob?
Thank you, Paul, and that should do it. 1 quarter in the book here at Blue Jays Stadium, and it's the home team from Central Columbia who will take in a 7-3 lead.
Friday Night Rivals is brought to you by Keystone College. With over 40-degree options, small class sizes, and Division III athletics, plus football. You can believe, belong, become.
Back getting ready for the second quarter. It's Gensimer, who had a nice first quarter, up for a first down inside Green Dragon territory. Gain of 7 more for the big running back.
Again, a full house backfield, that gives you an extra blocker at attack. That's simply a power play. So you've got 2 players leading up into the hole after you get a double team on the tackle. Kick out on the in and then the lead back.
What have you seen from Gensimer and Moyer that you like so far? They're a little bit the same size, a little bit size-wise they're the same?
Yes, there's a little bit slasher type runners.
Give it to the senior again. The defense is there. Looks like Weezer on the bottom. Also, number 9.
Coach Dennis told us before the game we're going to see a lot of runs on the part of both teams. He said we might be out of here by 8 o'clock. I don't think that's going to be the case because we have seen some pretty good passing.
I think both teams will have to mix it up a little bit, be more balanced tonight.
Most teams want to be balanced.
Sure.
Here you can see that set. It's, again, a wishbone type set.
Straight in route for Bradley. Made it look easy. Ramirez was way off his quarterback position. Gave him a lot of room. Gain of 7.
Just a slant. And Trey Devlin put a nice little touch on that. He didn't throw the ball overly hard. Made it easy for the receiver to catch it.
Devlin, 4th in the Pennsylvania Heartland Conference in passing this season. We've seen some good quarterbacks in the Heartland.
We have good young men, great arms.
A lot of movement up front. We'll see who this is against. Of course, Connor Watkins we saw in week 1 against Caden Riley. Watkins down with that collarbone injury. Get the call.
Ball start offense. 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, we have seen some very, very good quarterbacks. Yeah. One of the common denominators that we've seen, at least in terms of our observations, is the poise that these quarterbacks have shown. Leadership qualities, and of course, that's what you're looking for when you're looking to put a young man as a quarterback. That he's going to be smart, he's going to show some poise, and going to be a very effective leader for your team.
Coach Dennis sent the play in. Another flag comes in. Is this going to back him up again?
False start offense. So 5-yard penalty.
Mental mistakes right now costing the Blue Jays 10 yards. It's cost them.
I've seen a lot of penalties like this over the last 3 weeks in games that that we've either done or that I've attended. But
why now? You're week 9. You're supposed to.
I wish I had an answer for that. You just don't know. It's concentration. Again, sometimes it's miscommunication.
Devlin goes into the shotgun. Here comes the blitz by Lewisburg. They just got him. He got the ball away. He was trying to reach out to Johnson. It was close to a lateral when it went incomplete.
That's a good observation. That's the one thing you got to be careful with those bubble screens, that you're throwing the ball forward. And in this case, it was definitely forward.
Lewisburg showing some aggressiveness on defense. Here's a central key to the game brought to you by Toyota.
Control the line of scrimmage, and we've said it week after week after week. That's what's going to determine the outcome of most football games. Who's going to win the battle in the trenches?
Right now, I don't know. I couldn't tell you who's winning this battle because we've seen both teams.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here comes the rush again.
Devlin gets out, gets tripped up by Ramirez. A flag comes in. Did the ball come out? That's the question. And if it did it hit the ground?
Curious as to whether that was by design a quarterback draw or whether he just read it. The ground can't cause a fumble, I don't think. So
Nope. But there was a flag that came in. Referee's going to talk it over. It was a gain about 5. And
that's 3 penalties in a row. That's not going to make Coach Dennis very happy.
not when your team is moving the ball with.
We expect this to be a very competitive game. A lot of similarities.
Okay. Referee made the call, holding against Central. That's going to back them up. So they lost 10 on the 2 penalties before this.
Procedure
now
penalties.
another 10.
Time for a screen pass.
So that will negate anything Devlin did. So now it's, let's see, 2nd down and 27. 3rd down, is it?
I think it's 2nd.
I think it's 2nd down.
Empty backfield.
Here comes the blitz again. Devlin steps out, does a nice job. Hits his receiver, that's Zach Smith. Gets some of that back. 3rd down and long on the way.
Smith is only in 10th grade. A pretty nice route to the sidelines here. It's good protection from the inside, but a little bit shaky on the outside. Devlin stepped up and put the ball where, again, he's supposed to put it.
They got 15 back on that.
So it's either 12 or 13 yards. But they may be in field goal position.
Well, yeah, we can talk about the field goal kicker. He is along a 46, a little bit out of reach now. Gensemer, it looks like he's going to throw it. He is, and he's got Morrison wide open, but the pass was short. And was it caught? No. Bradley ran down after it. It hit the ground at the 1. We'll have to see this one again, but it looked like from the beginning he was going to throw the ball.
Yeah, you can see he's kind of chopping his steps. If he didn't put as much air under it, this was definitely a touchdown.
Oh, we're just blocked out.
Yeah, number 4 got in our view there. There it is again.
Another angle. This one we should be able to see it pretty clear if the ball hit the ground or not. Great job by Tippett, coach. And then, I don't know. It hit the ground underneath.
What's a catch?
I think it's a catch. So on 4th down, they're going to go for it.
I sprint here to this bench.
Devlin with a lot of time. Down the middle is Bradley. And on 4th down, Central converts, and it turns into a Plaza House Furniture touchdown.
Spectacular play by the Blue Jays. Quarterback steps up in the pocket, and Xander makes a great catch here, Bob. Takes a 3-step drop, steps into the, puts it on a line drive. Bradley catches the ball in his fingers, just the way you'd like to see your receivers. Don't let it hit your pads. Don't let it hit the palms of your hand. Great concentration.
So Lewisburg's defense, I don't know where they were. On 4th down and 14, they gave up a big play, and it cost them a touchdown. Central extends the lead now, 14-3, 8:40 left in the half.
Okay, back here in the 2nd quarter, it's 14-3 Central, and I have, well, not a football player, a young lady on the soccer team. Grace Klingerman joins me. She's a junior on the Blue Jays girls soccer team, just finished the regular season. Overall, how did you feel about your team's play in the regular season?
I thought we did really well. We ended 15-3, which is very good in our league, and some of the games that we lost were ones that we should have won, but just didn't play our best, so I felt really good about the season.
Well, Last year you made it into state, so coming into this season, what were your goals at the start?
Well, last year we lost the district championship, which hopefully we win that this year, and we hope to make it further into states.
Okay, and you're on your way to do that. Top seed as the district playoffs start. Now you just lost to Midwest. Midwest is the team that beat you for the district last year. Tell me the truth, you want to see them again, right?
Yeah, part of us does really want to, we do really want to see them again. Just try to get revenge on it from last year.
So at this point now, the weather's cold. It's all about elimination. It's all about the playoffs. What do you tell your team? What's the focus and how's the team coming together?
Well, we're a really close group of girls, and honestly, we just feed off each other's energy and just hope that we can come together as a group.
All right, so congratulations on a great season. Good luck in the postseason. Bob, the girls' soccer team is good. The football team's good. We'll talk later about the boys' soccer team, but at Central Columbia here, they have good sports teams.
They absolutely do. They have a good football, good soccer, good track. Tennis team won the district title last year. I visited with them. So great athletics here. Let's take a look at this play again.
Weatherite runs a good comeback towards the boundary. Ball's put on the line. This is going to be an exciting game, Bob. Both teams are going to go up and down this field.
So the 14-yard pass play is being talked over. Was there? I don't see a flag. Did you?
No.
It was a great pass by Shaletsky, I think.
Scott Dennis must feel pretty good dialing up a 4th and 13-yard to go for a first down and come out with the touchdown.
So our District 4 officials talking it over in the Heartland Conference. I'm not sure what they're talking about. I don't know if Paul Grippy's down there at all. Here's the call. Unsportsmanlike conduct
against Lewisburg. It's going to move the ball back to the 21-yard line.
I'm not sure if that happened before the play, after the play. It must have happened after the play, right?
It appears that it.
No, because it would have been a first down. It had to appear.
First and 10. Second down. I'm sorry, second
So
down.
the pass play did not count because it would be first down.
Right,
So it happened before. The penalty happened as the play was going on. So the play is negated. So Shaletsky's going to go back. Under pressure. He's taken down. There's the ball. It's recovered by a lineman, but Shaletsky is down for the count. He got nailed. 2 players down. I hope they're all right.
The referee called that an incomplete pass.
Let's see it again, Coach.
Drops back. Number 2 comes off his block. Is the first to get there. I don't know how that's an incompleted pass.
Schechterly took out Shaletsky. Let's see it.
See, this is a good angle here. That arm wasn't coming forward.
Huntington's on the ground, number 12. Schechterly is taking a knee, so I believe it's Huntington who lays down, is still down. He's a 6'2" junior for Central Columbia. Staff looking over him. Shaletsky, I believe, got up. He looks okay, but boy, did Schechterly have an open space to get to the quarterback.
Injured Blue Jay was Ian Huntington on the play. He is the one that had the hit on the quarterback.
Here's what Lewisburg has faced this season. Started 2-0. Mount Carmel's a very good team. Shamokin, probably their toughest loss has been to Shamokin and to Jersey Shore. 2 teams they think they could have beat.
Yes, losing to Mount Carmel, again, we see that Central also lost to Mount Carmel. It's one of the common opponents that they both lost to.
So the incomplete pass sets up a 3rd down. A break for Lewisburg. They're going to get a little draw play. Moyers has no room to run. Gain of 2, and here comes the punt team.
The interior defense of the Blue Jays has really held up pretty well. That play has not really produced the type of yardage that I'm sure that the Green Dragons are hoping for.
So this is our first look at punter Dakota Snyder. He's first in the Heartland Conference in punting. He averages just about 35 yards per kick. Central, though, could come out with good field position. High kick. Fair catch. Singleton loses it.
Looked like Zachary Smith recovered that.
Troy Johnson called for the fair catch. Lost it. Smith jumps on it. And Central takes a big, deep breath.
First half scores, Loyal Sock 14, Warrior Run nothing. Mount Carmel 13, Lewisburg nothing. Danville 7.
Oh, so close to getting a turnover. Lewisburg needed that. Instead, Central comes up with the ball. They'll have the ball at their own 42-yard line, up 11.
The Green Dragons are going to have to find a way to keep Trey Devlin under wraps. He's hit some big passes in key situations.
Kickoff block for Gensimer. Up past the 50, gain of 9.
Again, that was Jack Sheckerly leading the runner into that C gap.
Morrison shaken up for Central on the play.
Just a toss sweep, good kick out block, hits it up in that gap.
Gensimer is one of the bigger running backs we've seen this year. 6'1", 6'2". Stands straight up. There's that big line from Lewisburg.
Jack Sheckerly on the carry.
No gain on the play.
No gain on the
Big
play.
number 76 was the first to make contact there for the Green Dragons.
Taken up by number 16, Ethan Spalding. Brings up a 3rd down and 1.
Austin Weiser, again, he has had 12 tackles coming into this game. That defensive front is big, Bob. Even from up here, they're big.
At 290 and 290 right in the middle, Ghost and Weezer. And as we praise Weezer, he then jumps off sides. He stood straight up.
I'm sure coaches are on the sidelines. It's
5-yard
3rd
penalty.
and short.
Yards,
Stay on sides.
give 'em a
Stay
first
on
down.
sides. Watch the long count. Things like that.
You have to get off the field on 3rd down.
I've often said we should get earplugs for the defensive linemen and put them in there so they can't hear the count. Just go on motion.
So the drive continues for Central. Back to the ground game. Flag comes in from the referee, so we'll hold off on the call.
We went the whole first quarter. There it is, just a blast up inside that's bounced by Gensimer. We went the whole first quarter. I don't think there was a single penalty. Now in this second quarter, it's probably the 5th or 6th penalty that we've seen.
And the Blue Jays have been piling them up.
Looks like a hold.
2 holds, a couple of legal procedures.
Well, the last time that they put Devlin into this situation, he had some answers.
Well, he got out of it pretty good, right?
He certainly did.
Well, they get some pressure on him, has Lewisburg, but when they don't, he's picking them apart. Again, movement.
That's just the lack of discipline there.
Before the snap,
You coach your
encroachment,
defensive
defense.
linemen
5-yard penalty.
go on movement, not to go on sound. And no matter how many times you preach that, you'll see that oftentimes they're just going to try to get off the ball quickly, get into their blocker.
That time it was Grant Adams. Gensimer bobbing and weaving. Shoots up through for about 7.
Showed a good jump cut on that particular play. Again, that's just a power play. It's designed to go into that C gap. There's that jump cut.
And that's going to bring up a 2nd down and about 4.
And he doesn't go down on first contact. He picked up a couple of extra yards, puts it in a manageable situation for 2nd down.
Taken down by the freshman again, Dominic. Central's looked pretty efficient on offense tonight. Even when they've been penalized, they've come back. Lewisburg blitzing.
Gensimer close to another first down. Dropped down that time by Winterwright.
Gensimer's about 6 feet. He shows some good agility and a little bit of power.
He rushed for over 1,300 yards a year ago and 17 touchdowns. So he has the experience. A hole there. He has a first down and more. Gensimer looking for a touchdown, and he's in. The Blue Jays are in for a Plaza House Furniture touchdown.
When you're looking for running backs, you're looking for somebody with balance, vision, and certainly on this particular touchdown, you're going to see both of those traits. There's a little cut. There's another cut there. There he sets up his final 10 yards. He's pretty impressive.
We talked about the offensive line play on both sides, and right now Central's obviously winning that battle.
They are, and it's because of their quickness as much as anything else. They're getting off the ball.
Another big play by the Blue Jays, and it increases their lead now to 18. 3:50 left in the half.
You're watching Friday Night Rivals on my TV, WQMY.
We are back at Blue Jays Stadium. Ramirez brings it up for Lewisburg, up 20 yards. Recapping the last drive from Central, 6 plays, 58 yards. Another big play, that time Gensimer Johnson from 34 yards out.
He did, and with 3:43 to go, here we see the touchdown run. It makes a number of cuts here. Gets 4 off balance, gets into the end zone. With 3:43 to go, Bob, we're going to see what Coach Persing's approach is going to be, whether he's going to try to keep the ball on the ground, whether he's going to use the strong arm of Shedleski.
Moyers with the gap, closes quickly. Nice tackle by Carter. Except for that one run from Moyers, he's been held in check.
Yeah, he's run up inside, not very effectively because he hasn't had much block. That time there was a little bit of a seam that he was able to bounce the ball out to his left.
Shaleski has good size, good arm, but Lewisburg hasn't opened it up a lot this year. He's going to go to the middle screen, and they're trying to hit somebody in the middle, and his own player knocked him down. I think they were trying to hit Witherwright, and he got knocked over by one of his linemen.
Brings up a 3rd and 5.
It's a big down here. Clock stopped with 3:10. If they don't advance and get a first down, they're going to have to give the ball back up to the Blue Jays.
Coach Persing sends the play in. Former quarterback at Shamokin back in the day. Played a little bit of Wilkes until an injury, and then went into coaching. Shaleski to the out. I don't know. It's going to depend on the spot. He hits Witherwright, but I think he's going to be about, no, he's going to have the first down. If they give it to him, they do, right at the 40. Gain of 6. Move the chains.
Safe play.
But Lewisburg, they want to get back to that running game.
They do. When you have a young man that has run for 1,400 yards, it's tried and tested, and that's what's going to carry you.
Boy, Moyers can run it too. How about against Central Mountain this year? 355 yards, 5 touchdowns. We haven't seen that yet tonight. Here's Moyers. Keeps his balance. Gets a block, no flag. Moyers a big gain inside Blue Jays territory down to the 25.
His counterpart is the one that saved that from being a touchdown. He bounces it out to the sidelines, and there you see Gensimer with a good tackle. Knocks him out of bounds.
Apropos that Gensimer gets it. 35-yard gain for Moyers.
This is what they've done all year. They've relied on Max Moyers, and certainly he produced in that particular play.
And their offensive line.
Exactly.
They love to get a score in before the half. 2 timeouts left. Plenty of time on the clock. Shiletsky holds on to the ball. Minimal gain.
Pickup of 1 on the play, taken down by number 73, Dylan Walters.
Walters on the stop for Central.
Brings up a 2nd and 9.
For what you've seen of the Green Dragons, what do you feel like so far on offense?
Well, they've done what we thought that they were going to do, and that's give the ball to number 7. I'd still like to see Shidleski throw the ball a little bit more, just because of the balance.
There you go. Dominic going the wrong way, then little cut. Knocked out of bounds inside the 20 to the 19. Clock stops.
That's an approach that not enough teams take, Bob. Safe passes, they're just 3-step drops or direct snap. The receiver goes down 5 to 7 yards, just turns around. And when you get a soft zone, that's going to be open the whole time.
Lewisburg will get the third quarter kick, so they could have 2 possessions here,
back
to back.
You'll see that Central's linebackers are inside the tackle box, so it's hard to get underneath those outside routes.
Moyers finds a gap, gets a block. Moyers towards the end zone, knocked out of bounds at the 2. First and goal, Lewisburg, inside the Manuka Subaru red zone.
What acceleration we see here. The play is designed to go inside, it does, and then it just bounces, good quick feet. And again, it's Gensimer who makes the tackle.
The running backs we've showcased are putting
Battle
on a
of the
show,
running backs.
aren't they?
It seems that we bring lots of touchdowns when we do these games.
Especially in the heartland, it seems.
It is.
Hey, this is where they have trouble during the year. Tonight they only have a field goal. Shiletsky off the right side. Gain of 1.
Taken down by Carter Crawford, Ian Huntington, and Garrett Carter.
You would think with this offensive line they try to power it through, right?
Yeah, he didn't really push on that. For as big as he is, he should be able to find a little bit of a seam and get his weight going forward. Give it to your money back.
Money Man is in for a Plaza House Furniture touchdown. Lewisburg cuts that lead.
That's a good answer. They needed this very badly. With 1:10 to go, it's going to bring them to a 21-10 deficit. So there's still a 2. There it is. Both backs lead up. Shows a lot of strength.
Jack Diefendorfer on to attempt the extra point.
The offensive line, Mason Witterman, Josh Ghost, and Austin Weiser.
Low snap, but it's taken, and the kick is up, and it's good. Lewisburg answers. Nice 9-play, 73-yard drive. 1:10 left, and it's an 11-point lead. A little bit of passing and a little bit of running, and that nice balance by the Green Dragons. Most importantly, they didn't turn the ball over.
With a winning game ball ticket, if you bought a program and you have a game ball ticket, it's a red ticket.
You'll find Plaza House Furniture showrooms in Selinsgrove and Bloomsburg with more than 100,000 square feet of showroom space. You can update your home with the latest in furniture styles or just add a new companion piece. And comparison shopping is easy with so many choices all under one roof. Plaza House guarantees the lowest prices and a 50-mile free delivery. Plaza House Furniture in Selinsgrove and Bloomsburg. Our house is your house.
Bob Ide, Stan Koharski in the booth. Paul Grippy on the sidelines. Pretty good Heartland Conference game. Central has the lead, 21-3. Lewisburg just answered with a touchdown. And there's still a lot of time left for Central. It looks like, well, they may have good field position. The ball is still alive. And it's going to go out of bounds. Wow, that's exciting.
It's exciting. Now, with 1:07 to go, what's the Blue Jays' approach going to be? Going to stay on the offensive and try to move the ball down? I'm sure they have at least all their timeouts left. Or are they just going to sit on this 2-touchdown lead?
They have 3 timeouts. You're correct. Well, you think with Devlin and his arm and the way they've been explosive down the field, they're going to. I would try at least a couple, right?
Well, let's see what they're going to do. This first down will tell us. Here they're opening up the set.
Devlin's looked pretty good at ever since he threw that interception on their first drive of the game. Questions from the Lewisburg sidelines. Maybe where the spot is, or this officiating crew has had to dig deep into the book tonight.
I've seen a lot of strange calls over the last couple of weeks.
Picked up the penalty flag. There is no penalty on the play.
Evidently there was a flag down, and maybe that was because the kick went out of bounds, but it was touched.
3-by-1 set here. Quarterback's in the shotgun.
Here comes that arm straight to his big tight end, and he's gone first.
Well, that answers that question, what they're going to do, and they certainly stayed on the offensive.
The 6'6" Division I prospect pulls it in for a big gain from.
Good drop back. There's two receivers here. I'm not sure who was going to catch this, whether it was number 7 or whether it was going to be Verse.
38-yard pass play to the 6'6" senior, who is being looked at by a number of Division I schools, and maybe that's why. That was a great catch.
It was. Good ball thrown by Trey Devlin. It's nice to see that. I mean, here's a kid that obviously has produced over the last 2 seasons, and to showcase him, to give him an opportunity. There he is in the gun, drops back, lets it fly. Again, I'm not sure whether that was intended for Eli Morrison or whether it was intended for Verse. It was kind of thrown between the two of them.
I think Lewisburg didn't know what to do either. They had 3 defensive players down there, and not one of them went for the ball.
I've always said that people that play in the secondary live on a very thin ice.
But again, Devlin had the time to throw, right?
Being in the gun is a big help. But again, you've got to pass protect, and that's an art for offensive linemen. They work diligently on that, and you've got to keep your quarterback's jersey clean.
Let's see if the Green Dragons want to dial up some blitzes, put pressure on the senior quarterback. Just a 4-man rush, and he gets it out, and this time, after making a fantastic catch, Verse drops it, but a little bit throw behind him.
Still catchable. Here you'll see again a straight drop back, pretty good protection. Took his eyes off the ball, never followed it into his hands. That's one of the things that as a receiver coach you preach over and over again. Look the ball in, look the ball in.
And it's a good Lewisburg defense, again, picked apart by Devlin tonight. They came in with 11 interceptions on the year as a team. They do have 1 tonight, but that was early on the first drive. Devlin with all kind of room. A lot of green space, gets a block and goes out of bounds. Inside the 25 to the 21, gain of 14.
That's good decision making. Pretty good protection, but he saw that the coverages had all the receivers covered, and he was able to pick up some substantial yardage. So they're on the 2-yard line, 21-yard line. Lewisburg's got to be careful here. They're dropping a lot deeper perhaps than they should because they've gotten beaten deep.
Well, they're in field goal range. We know that for Gregory. Still a lot of time. Off the mark, trying to hit Bradley. Also down there was Smith. He threw in between them.
That's the second time he's gone to his left on sprint action, and really has not been accurate going in that direction. Much more effective in the pocket or moving to his right.
As Coach Dennis is
looking like he's telling him to look to the sideline.
Well, a lot of time left. They do have two timeouts left.
Plus
so
the
they can
field
go
goal
over the middle.
Yeah, and they have that field goal kicker.
More pressure put on. Devlin chased. Can Lewisburg get him? He gets out of it like Houdini. Devlin inside the 10, first and goal, Central Columbia.
Highlight reel right here, Bob. How he avoids some of these tacklers is rather interesting. There he is in the pocket. The pocket breaks down. There's 1 miss, 2 misses, 3 misses, 4 misses.
That's enough for another Central Columbia.
Pretty good play.
2 big runs for Devlin on this drive, combined for 25 yards, and he's the X factor in that.
Yeah, again, there's nobody assigned to the quarterback unless you have a robber. You put somebody in there that's going to mirror or play a ghost on the quarterback. But when you're in coverage, that's an opportunity quarterbacks have. But to avoid that many tackles, that's exceptional.
Well, Central again, Mount Carmel's in second place in the District 4 AA standings behind Southern Columbia. They're not bad losses.
No.
I mean, they're two good, very good teams.
We've seen Danville, they're 7-1. Southern Columbia is 8-0. Mount Carmel's got a good record.
Yeah, 5-3, or 6-2, excuse me. Hey, Lewisburg's not going to be any slouch next week.
Well, it's the big rivalry for Central.
So some big wins in there. Now, Central plays in Division 3 this year. They've dropped down. Lewisburg moved up to Division 1. But Central showing they belong in the district playoffs. It could be a factor. Out to the flat. Bradley spins. Clock will roll.
1 timeout left.
Pass complete to Xander Bradley down to the 4-yard line.
They take their last one.
And Central uses their final timeout. Tackle on the play was made by number 4, Coleman Witherite.
So you have 2 yards.
No timeouts left.
22 seconds. You have to go to the air, right?
I would think so. I mean, that's the safe thing to do, because then at least if you don't complete it and you don't intercept it or have it intercepted, you got another chance. If you run it and you don't get it, can you get us another playoff?
Trying to figure it out. No timeouts left.
Gensimer hasn't touched the ball on this drive, correct?
No, not at all.
And he's their main man back there.
All right, Steve, I'll interview the Central coach
So
after the quarter.
Let's see if they'll give it to Gensimer.
Yeah.
But then you got to get up to the ball quickly. It is second down.
They're in that backfield set, wishbone look.
They will give it to Gensimer. He's going to be short. Can they get up quickly? Time ticking. A yard gain. Ball's placed at the 1. 3rd down. Under 10 to play.
This will be their last.
This is it. No spike. Are they in? They give it to him. Weezer threw him out.
That's Kai.
Yep, that's C. Schultz with a Plaza House Furniture touchdown as time expires.
6'3", 220-pound linebacker.
And fullback.
Gets the ball as the fullback. Let's see it here again. Shows a lot of drive.
I don't know if he got in.
Well, it looks like he did. It looks like the ball was at least on the plane. And I don't mean the TWA or just the goal line plane. TWA doesn't exist anymore, does it?
But what a drive, no. What a drive, though, by Central Columbia after Lewisburg.
Their aggressiveness is to be really recognized.
I guess that answered the question, what they were going to do, huh,
Exactly.
Coach? Attack, attack, attack.
Well, we said that first down would tell us.
Low snap, but they get it up and through. 38 points on the board, 28 from Central Columbia, and they will take a big 18-point lead in to the half. And here's the last play.
There it is.
Paul Grippy with the Central coach.
Okay, Coach, you're up comfortably here at halftime. How did you feel about the way your line played? You did want to dominate up front tonight.
Well, I think they're getting off the football well, and we're pass protecting pretty well. So, yeah, I think the offensive line is doing a great job.
Any surprise that you're up by 18 at halftime?
Well, our offense has been rolling the last couple of weeks. I'm a little bit surprised that it is by that kind of a margin, for sure, because this is a really good Lewisburg team.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Good, exciting first half,
Thank
big
you.
plays, and we'll see you in the second half.
Appreciate it, thanks.
Okay, Bob, Central up comfortably at halftime.
Yeah, big plays, big runs, and some big-time drives. Central ends the half on an 8-play, 73-yard drive to take a 28-10 lead into the locker room. Coming up at the half, we'll check in on our Fox 56 News first at 10. I'll have an interview with the new Keystone College coach. Paul will check in with Coach Persing, and Stan and I will be back with highlights. That's at the half.
Friday Night Rivals is brought to you by Toyota, Let's Go Places, Luzerne County Community College, Sunbury Motors, Keystone College, Plaza House Furniture, and Manuka Subaru.
A year from now, the turf field at Keystone College will look a lot different than it does today. There'll be lines for football and hopefully goalposts right here at Keystone College. And joining me right now is the new head football coach, Justin Higgins. And Coach, every time you think about what it's going to be here next year, do you get excited?
Oh, a lot of excitement. Obviously, you mentioned the expansion with the stadium and facilities, but players on the field, coaches on the sideline. I know we're eager to get out there and coach them up and obviously put a good product on the field and get some opponents in and get to play another team.
What other plans do you have for up here at the field?
Yeah, so obviously facility-wise in general, once you add football, you want to be able to expand. So we're going to have a brand new weight room, new locker room complex off one end zone, which is going to have our lockers in it, as well as various other teams, here at Keystone, their locker rooms, athletic trainers. So it's going to be a real nice facility. And then we're going to expand stadium, bleachers, press box as well over the next few years. So a lot of good stuff going on.
We're up here in the fall, and leaves aren't changed yet, but this is a beautiful area to watch a football game from, what it's going to look like. The whole atmosphere is going to be great, don't you think?
Oh, outstanding. I mean, Keystone in the fall represents fall. When you think fall, it's football season. Yep. So, that's number one. You take a glance around all the area and where we're at campus. I mean, just what a great location to play and how things echo out over the, surrounding areas. Saturdays are going to be a good day, that's for sure.
What are you doing now with your time? You're recruiting, right?
Recruiting, absolutely. We have no players yet on the field, so we need them. Absolutely. We're getting out. A lot of areas that we're hitting. Obviously, PA has great football, and we want to make sure that we start locally and hit locally. But even as we stretch to other parts of PA, the eastern PA, central PA, and we'll get out of state as well, New York, New Jersey, some of the surrounding areas. So really getting out there, getting our name out. Great response so far, and we're looking to continue.
What type of student athlete are you looking for here at Keystone?
Obviously, we want that hard worker, great character kid, and especially as we look to kind of build the football program. But even when you look at our other athletics and our student body in general, we're very driven on making sure that our students get the degree they want coming in. So we want that goal-oriented student. We do a great job here. Our faculty does a great job. We have small classroom sizes that really enhances that development right away. And we're going to make sure that they come out in their 4 years and start in the career that they want.
Well, that may be attracting you here. Why did you choose to be the next football coach at Keystone?
I think when I got offered, I just knew that this was going to be the place. It's been a great area. People have been great. They've been welcome, myself, my family here. Obviously, football's big, and they really feel strongly about it, and we have great administrative support. But when you look at our campus in general and just what we do for the students, when you talk about the professors and the other faculty and the staff here, it's just a huge, close-knit group, and we have a lot of great programs here on campus as well. I mean, a student doesn't have to pay for a textbook here at Keystone. A great thing, as well as our Keystone commitment, which we help repay student loans, parent loans as you come out, if need be. So, again, just great options for students, not only during their time here, but we're also going to make sure they get landing in the right direction when they get out.
Tell people your background. 20 years in coaching now, and football before that, I'm sure.
Yeah, so next year will be my 20th year on the sideline, which is a great, landmark, and obviously being the first year here at Keystone. So I've had a chance to coach a variety of locations and great schools in the Northeast, starting back in my time at Ithaca College as a coach, and then I had a chance to branch out. I coached at Lehigh University, Seton Hill University in Western PA. I coached at Kane University in New Jersey, Utica College in New York, and most of my time and most recently spent at Morrisville State in New York as well.
I know recruiting's a grind, but I'm sure you love it. But do you miss being on the sidelines this year?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think any coach, you want to get on there, and we know how important recruiting is, and obviously it's something we want to bring in those right guys to help build the foundation. But we're itching. We want football. We want to get on the sideline, but it'll come soon enough. We're excited, and next August 2019 will be here before we know it.
In August 2019, September, what kind of schedule are you going to play?
All right, so we're going to play a sub-varsity schedule where we're going to get a chance to play a mixture of teams. We want to make sure we give our guys in that first year, that developmental year, a good opportunity to develop on the field. So we're going to play a mixture. We're going to play some varsity opponents, some JV opponents, and get a chance to really get us on the field and learn how to play together and learn how to play competitively. And then 2020 will be full varsity conference year.
Appreciate the time. Good luck, okay? We're at halftime of our game, and we'll be right back after this.
We are back live in SB at the half. It's Central Columbia, the home team leading Lewisburg 28-10. Welcome inside the booth, everyone. Bob Ide, Stan Kaharski, enjoying a very high energy type football game here in the Heartland Conference. Maybe the difference might be the possessions. Lewisburg had 4 possessions in that first half, just put up 10. Central Columbia had 5 possessions, had 1 interception, no punts, scored 4 times.
They've been very aggressive. They've managed to have a great balance between the run and the pass, and certainly they've been very productive as well as being efficient.
You talk about efficiency, they very balanced too for Central Columbia.
They have been. We've talked in the interim here. Trey Devlin's been the difference in the game. His ability to make plays in third down situations and to throw the ball very accurately. He's had 2 poorly thrown passes going to his left, but other than that, he's been spot on. And Bob, the other thing is the tailbacks have come as advertised. Both of them have had very, very good first halves. And the difference has been the effectiveness of the Blue Jays offensive line. Yeah. They're getting off the ball, getting into the defenders of Lewisburg, and as a result, they're moving the ball up and down the field.
Let's take a look at some of those first half highlights. Central Columbia received the opening kick, drove all the way down the field, and this is the only mistake by Devlin in the half.
Yeah, again, it's a matter of mechanics in that particular play.
Moyers run the ball pretty good tonight. 11 carries, 122 yards, 1 big run. But again, Devlin's been the key.
And Xander Bradley has had 2 big catches. And there you see Gensimer.
Gensimer, 102 yards in that first half, 13 carries.
There's a field goal attempt.
There's Lewisburg's field goal. And then, you know, on a 4th down, hey.
4th and 13, touchdown.
Touchdown by Bradley.
I've got to get that on my playbook, that particular play.
Gensimer answers. Then Lewisburg gets a touchdown, just over a minute to play in the half. That cut the lead, but then, hey, huge drive to end the first half. Last play of the half.
You have to be impressed with Coach Dennis's approach on that last drive. They got the ball with very little time left in the half, and right off the bat, they come out in a spread formation and throw the ball and got a big play, put them in position to get into the end zone.
Let's see what Coach Persing thinks about the first half for Lewisburg.
Okay, Coach, you find yourself a bit of a hole here. What did you tell your team at halftime? What do you want to see different in the second half?
We just need to keep playing and keep doing what we're doing. We've only stopped ourselves. We got the ball, went right down, we fumbled. We got the ball back, we went right down, we had to settle for a field goal. You know, that literally the last play of the half, it's potentially going to come back and haunt us, but we're going to get the ball and we're going to try to go out and score a touchdown.
You do get the opening kickoff here. What's the tone you want to set with this offensive possession?
We just need to be physical up front and just let Max get to the second level.
Okay, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Bob, we'll start the third quarter.
So, Coach, what do you think about what Mark Persing said?
Well, it's not a surprise that he said he's got to get the ball to Max. He has been. I'm going to disagree with him a little bit. I think that in part we have to see Shedleski throw the ball, maintain a little bit more balance, and Shedleski can do that, but he's got to be given those opportunities. I'm certainly not second-guessing what Coach Persing said. Max Moyers has been very, very productive. He's been his go-to guy. But will that be enough? That's the question. And the next 24 minutes will tell us that.
We talked about the kickers, too, a little bit. Special teams. Not really playing much of a factor in this game. But both kickers, while they can reach the end zone with their kicks, both coaches have held them back a little bit, a little reluctant.
Well, we've only had, one punt in the game?
One punt.
And then we've had the field goal attempt. And, of course, the Blue Jays didn't want to settle for any field goals. They believed they could score touchdowns, and they, in fact, did.
Second half kick underway. Gregory with the long kick. Ramirez again from his 7th. Has a little gap, shoots through, and Lewisburg, the Dragons, have the ball just past the 30 to begin the third quarter. So here comes Nick Shaleski, the 6'3", 250-pound junior. In that first half, he was 5 of 7, 71 yards. His long pass play was of 30 yards, just 2 incompletions.
When you're down 3 scores, again, can you come back just running the football? You can, but it's got to be done methodically and as quickly as possible.
Well, I think it's also the Lewisburg defense. They have not been able to stop the Central Columbia offense.
No, they
especially
haven't.
Devlin. The secondary has let some big pass plays go by. Back to Moyer. Has a gap, shoots through for 6. Good start.
And that's what Coach Persing said. We've got to get the ball to Max and let him do his thing. First down, good 5 to 6 yards. And you can see that Max Moyers is explosive. When he does get to that second level, he can make good cuts and he can accelerate.
That's a kid that averages just over 8 yards per carry. Back to him again. More physical. That's good for about 8, a first down.
And he can take the ball the distance. If he's given some space, he's going to be able to make some good cuts. I think his longest run this year has been 93 yards, which is pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive. Gained over 1,100 yards last year as a freshman. What we haven't pointed out is the absence of one Dylan Farinato. Talk about that in a second. Moyer's there, but Central just reads this one. At some point, you got to fake it to him. The line didn't block. Walter shoots in for a tackle or a loss.
Lewisburg was an unbalanced line that time, and they pulled the guard, and Max was not able to even get out of his own backfield. I think it was number 73 for Central Columbia that made that stop.
Well, you lose a Division I prospect like Dylan Farinato. He's headed to Davidson, played, 2.5 games, maybe coming back for the playoffs. That's what the rumor is. That'd be a big get for Lewisburg, but you lose a guy like him, and they struggled. Lewisburg then struggled a little bit to find an identity.
Well, coaches sometimes lose a little bit of confidence. You take away your go-to receiver, and you might not have enough faith in some of your other receivers, and maybe that's one of the reasons why Max Moyers carried the ball 171 times in the first 8 games.
Plus, Shaleski was banged up a little bit. He's come back, and he looks healthy tonight. But they lost him for a little bit as well. Straight through. Nice tackle by Carter up past midfield.
Well, this is interesting. It appears that they're going to go for on 4th down. They've got about 4 yards to go. Or are they punting? I guess they changed their mind. It appeared momentarily that they were going to perhaps try to get that first down.
Well, they're missing a player. Well, the play clock didn't start yet, so they have time. Okay, so Dakota Snyder on, best punter in the Heartland Conference. Be nice if he could throw it over. Instead, it's a fake. Dominic has it, and Dominic's got a first down. It depends on the mark.
Yeah, I believe
he got it. Ethan Dominic, the freshman's been a factor tonight.
Well, that goes to show you that Lewisburg's not going to sit back and just concede that they can't move that ball. That fake was very effective.
Let's take a look at it again, Coach. Even faked our camera people out.
Yes, they did. It's a hard finish of that run. Could have been held short, but he plowed forward.
So this keeps the drive going off the fake punt. Moyers powers his way through, knocks a couple players over. 9 more for Max Moyers.
You can understand why they have so much faith in this young man. You can see here, he gets the football, heads into the A gap, and then bounces at the outside, makes a cut there, and finishes his run. There again, he picks up an extra 4 yards after first contact. You got to love that in running backs.
Another thing we talked about, Coach, on the ride down was the offensive line, what they have to do after they make their initial hit.
Yeah, they've got to chase the ball. I mean, I've seen teams, the linemen get off the ball and they just stand around after first contact.
Shaleski.
There's a motion penalty, and it was illegal motion. Two guys moving at the same time. You watch we have the replay here, Bob. You'll see that the outside receivers doesn't go down until the Lewisburg motion man starts his motion towards their bench. There, you can't see it.
You have to go back
right,
a little bit.
Have to go back.
That was the play. So that play won't count. Brings up second down. To move it back 5. Another penalty on Lewisburg. Just 2 turnovers in the game. Interception by Devlin and a fumble by Moyers, both in the first quarter. Straight up for Moyers, 3rd and short.
What's interesting in terms of the tailback here, a lot of his runs have been into the A and B gaps between the guard and center or guard and tackle. He hasn't really had an opportunity to get outside unless he's cut to the outside. That's pretty unusual, especially out of that one back set. No fullback leading up into the hole. Here, 2 tight ends, double wing.
See if they fake it and go to the air. How about an end around to their athlete, the freshman Dominic? He's got a bunch of carries tonight. He gives them about 9 more.
Ethan Dominic is only a freshman, and as we said earlier, his coach thinks with him and Max Moyers, they've got a good foundation for the next 2 years.
Absolutely, and Shaleski's only a junior. Up front, though, they'll lose 3 linemen going into the next year. Of course, Dylan Farinado will be moving on as well. He is the senior, headed to Davidson. Nice drive, but time ticking. Lewisburg down 18. Trying to set up that screen again. There's Dominic, the freshman, with room. Dominic looking to the end zone. Lewisburg's in for a Plaza House Furniture touchdown. 30 yards for Ethan Dominic.
This is a lot of fun here. You'll see a little bit movement to the right, sets up that screen back to the left, and the freshman catches the ball and does his thing. Shows speed, manages to get just inside the pylon for a much-needed score on the part of the Green Dragons. It's blocked.
It's blocked. But Lewisburg cuts in to the central lead. 6:46 left in the 3rd.
Okay, Lewisburg getting a little closer here in the 3rd quarter, but we talked girls soccer in the first half. Let's talk about boys soccer. I'm joined by the twins here, bookends. Okay, John Bodeman, Will Bodeman, members of the Central Columbia boys soccer team, finishing up the regular season tomorrow against Danville. But overall, how'd the season go? What were your impressions of you guys play this season?
I think we played great. We started off 1-2, but since then we've had 14 games without a loss, and the team chemistry's really been building, and we're having fun. So.
Okay, yeah, you guys are the number 2 seed heading into districts, which will be next week. We'll find out our opponent in the next couple of days. But what was your goals to start the season, and what are you thinking now for goals?
Our goals to start the season were to win the league and have a shot at the district title. We've achieved those goals as we just tied the league with Midwest. And as 2nd seed going into districts, we have a good shot at winning. Our goals moving forward are to win districts and do well in state playoffs, and I think we can definitely achieve those goals.
And you want Midwest again, right?
Yes.
You want those guys.
We just beat them and we're ready.
Yeah,
so.
and the girls team wants Midwest, and you want to do better than the girls team,
yes,
right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, because of course they'll hear about it. You guys are having such a great season. Congratulations. What's been your favorite part of the season?
Just the bonding we have, you know. And the girls are doing well too, so there's like a healthy rivalry between our teams competing for the next win, you know.
Yeah, they're rivals. Hey, they got a good soccer program here at Central Columbia, and the football team's good too. Bob, you mentioned other sports here. So in the fall, Central is a team to be watching in the districts. Up to you.
Well, the team we're watching tonight could be a factor in districts if they end up with the 3rd seed. Right now it's Danville, Montoursville, Lewisburg, and Central.
Hey, Steve, can you hear me?
So some good runs by Gensimer. They're going to go right back to their bread and butter. Keep it on the ground. Make Lewisburg stop them. Gensimer another 5.
Taking down number 52, Graydon Feldman.
Graydon Feldman on the tackle.
Gain of 5 on the play brings up a 2nd and 5.
Ethan Spalding is the outside edge player on those plays, and he's either catching the lead blocker or he's trying to strip the ball. He needs to secure the tackle first and foremost.
As we said, Gensimer, 13 carries, 102 yards unofficially in that first half. Devlin, very efficient through the air, 7 of 12, 166, but no need for that right now. Want to eat some clock up, get some first downs. Make Lewisburg stop you, and they haven't been able to stop this guy at all. Another first down inside the 45.
As well as we've seen a number of very effective quarterbacks, we've seen a lot of very good running backs who really finish their runs. They show a toughness that running backs you'd love to have. And you see him drop his hips and manage to spin for another yard or 2.
With the right, nice technique tackle. But now it's up, Lewisburg's defense has to make a stop or get some kind of turnover. You can't trade scores in this part of the game. Into the secondary again for Gensimer.
Lewisburg's defensive front, they're not getting off blocks very quickly. And the quickness of the Blue Jays offensive line is certainly showing evidence here of their superiority at this particular point. You don't see those linemen getting off blocks and getting to the edge to help out on tackles. Tackles are being made by linebackers and defensive backs.
Alex Evelyn, nice lead block. 6 foot, 270 pounds. The kid's beefy. He's doing the job. Couple right, now left. Feldman had a hand on him. Maybe slowed him down.
These running backs showing a great endurance. They're workhorses. No secret they're getting the ball play after play, and they manage to run with great intensity. Take a look at the front of, or the defensive front. The young guys are hands on hips. They're getting a little fatigued. You can see both inside tackles there, 74, 76.
Two big 290-pounders inside, a little gassed. Here comes the run blitz. Feldman shoots in, tackle for a loss. Lewisburg's going to take some chances now on defense.
Well, again, you see the backer shoots the A-gap and manages to get to Isaac Gensimer before he's able to get out of the backfield.
Gensimer does not have a lot of negative plays tonight. That may be the first of the evening. So 3rd and long now facing Central. And really, this is where they've gotten a lot of positive plays in the first half.
Wouldn't be surprised to see some play action here.
Or how about a hard snap, hard count?
It looks like that Elijah Heinzelman was moved.
3rd down, right? For the snap, full start, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So this backs the Blue Jays up now.
We'll see a little different play call here, I'm sure, and the formation should be a little bit different.
What you've seen in the first half, if you're the Green Dragons, do you send pressure?
Well, he's been very comfortable. Devlin's been very comfortable in the pocket. Now there's an empty backfield.
4-man rush right now. Here comes the outside blitz. Devlin's chased. This time he can't get out of it. white shirts there. First sack of the night for the Green Dragons, and here comes fourth down.
And we're going to see the first punt by the Blue Jays. Again, that's coming off the edge.
Snyder got him. Second sack of the year. Now it's a field position game. And this is Gregory, 33 yards on the season.
Ramirez is deep.
If you're looking for your Ramirez, you want this one to go into the end zone.
Timeout called by the Green Dragons. That's their first. They have 2 remaining.
Timeout call by Lewisburg.
That could come back to cause them some anguish later in the half.
Quick third quarter, I should say.
I was just going to say that. We've seen a lot of rushes.
A lot of running, yeah.
Yeah.
150 something.
157 on one scoreboard.
Paul Grippy down the sidelines talking about a former Green Dragon.
Yes, and a former Nittany Lion as well. Remember when he played at Lewisburg, Mr. Brandon Smith, and then he ran on to Penn State under Bill O'Brien. They didn't call him walk-ons, they call him run-ons. And Brandon Smith from Lewisburg was a run-on. And later, James Franklin gave him a scholarship. He ended up starting at linebacker for the Nittany Lions last couple of years, Big Ten champion and a Fiesta Bowl champion. When he graduated, undrafted, took a shot at the Buffalo Bills, didn't make the team. So he's done with football now, and he is in med school at Liberty in Virginia. And sure enough, home this week for fall break, homecoming at Penn State last week. Well, last night, the motivational speaker for the Lewisburg Green Dragons, Mr. Brandon Smith himself, and now headed back to Liberty. He won't be the last Brandon Smith for Penn State, Bob. Penn State has recruited and got a commitment from a linebacker named Brandon Smith, also from Virginia, #1 linebacker recruit in the country. So the Brandon Smith legacy in Happy Valley will continue.
Brandon Smith, a great young man on and off the field. So the fair catch was taken by Lewisburg. There you see they have the ball around the 13-yard line. So the defense makes a stop. We're getting late in the third, Coach.
That was Ethan Dominic, again, on somewhat of a speed sweep out of a double wing, 2 tight ends. But again, the clock is certainly ticking for the Green Dragons.
They're down 12, so it's 2 possessions.
2 possessions.
So at some point, you're going to have to unleash Shaletsky, I think, a little bit.
Well, here again, we're going to see some sets a little bit differently, some more or less passing sets.
Moyers with a gap. He shoots through, close to another first down for Lewisburg.
Max Moyer's showing great vision. He accelerates pretty quickly once he gets the football. And again, he saw a gaping gap to his left and was able to pick up a first down.
Clock continues to roll now. There you see coming up on a minute in the third quarter. Both teams keeping the ball on the ground. It's going to keep the clock moving. And that's against Lewisburg now. Lewisburg needs to quicken their pace a little bit, don't they? What do they need to do?
Well, they drove the ball pretty effectively, but it took a lot of time. So they know what they can do well, and I'm sure they're hoping for #7 to make a big play here.
Or how about another timeout? So that's 2 here in the third quarter. Only leaves them left one for the game. 38 seconds left. That's a tough spot to call one, too.
Well, it's a first down. It's I would perhaps understand a little bit more if it was third and they were confused about what they were going to do. On first down, they shouldn't have that confusion.
So Lewisburg calls the Keystone College timeout, and here's what District 4 2A looks like. And as we've seen, Southern Columbia is the odds-on favorite, not only to win the district, but for some to win states. But, you know, Mount Carmel's going to say something about that. 18 field again, and that's what it looks like going into next week.
It's just a daunting task for Southern Columbia's opponents, knowing the quality of the football team that they have, and to go in there and have a legitimate chance to beat them.
Well, Central Columbia right here had the lead against Southern Columbia, believe it or not. And then Southern put up 54 the rest of the way. Moyers through. 12, stops the clock momentarily. Lewisburg doesn't seem like they're
there's no
too
urgency
quick.
on their part. They just seem to want to be methodical and do what they do best, which is to run the football.
Gensimer knocks down Moyers, and the two backs meet again.
Gensimer has had quite a number of tackles.
And he's not even listed as a starter. Oh, yes, he is strong safety.
He's playing, it was one of the safety positions.
Shaleski.
Wide open.
Oh, he's got Dominic downfield, just out of the reach of the freshman. How big is that?
That's one of those plays, Bob, you're as a receiver, whether you want to dive and leave your feet to try to extend to catch that ball, or whether you can run your chest under it. We always try to coach our kids to run your chest under all deep balls, but sometimes you have to leave your feet and extend those arms or those hands to catch the football.
Just a freshman. So some great athletic ability tonight. Well, it stops the clock with 8 seconds. They'll get one play here in the third. They'll send the quarterback into the shotgun. Couple guys moving at the same time. There's the flag. Clock will stop. This will cost Lewisburg some yardage, unless Central wants to decline it. It's a gain of 1.
Illegal shift, offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That play probably should have been stopped, though, when both were moving.
So there you saw Coach Persing. Remember, his second season here as head coach, so he's relatively new. He's a young guy. He was assistant at Valley West, 4 years at Mount Carmel before he got this job. So it's a lot different being the head coach than it is the assistant. This should be it. They can't get the play off. That ends the third quarter. The referees didn't stop it. They didn't notice it, and that will do it. 3 quarters in the book here in SB. The home team's out in front by 12.
And that's the end of the third quarter. With your score, Central Columbia 28, Lewisburg 16.
Okay, about to start the fourth quarter here, but joining me now, a member of the Central Columbia Blue Jays, L.J. Woodward, and out of the starting lineup today, not dressed to play, really recovering, right? You just got out of the hospital. What was it that you were in there being treated for?
I had Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Okay.
With a Miller-Fisher variant. It causes, well, you get a virus and your body creates an antibody to fight it, and this syndrome causes it to not work right, and it attacks your nerves.
Right. Okay, want to mention what just happened here. Central Columbia in the end zone, and they've come up with it. Okay, let me ask you some more. So it really came out of nowhere. You weren't expecting it? Were you sick with the flu or a cold before that?
Not really. It was 2 weeks ago to the day that I ended up in the hospital. And the Wednesday before that, my vision just got a little funky. My eyes weren't tracking things right. And then the next day I woke up and my whole body felt like when your foot falls asleep. So I went through my whole day like that, and I went to the doctors and had a bunch of tests done, and they found nothing. And then the next morning on the Friday of homecoming, I woke up and I was seeing double, which is why I have this in here.
Right.
So I couldn't really see anything really. My voice was very nasally, and so my mom took me to the ER at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was there ever since.
You're recovering now, at least doing a little better?
Yeah. I'm recovering very well.
Okay, good. And you've gotten a lot of support. What has been the support from the school, your friends, the community been like?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have been texted every day by my teammates. Teachers have been down to see me. The superintendent, Harry Mathias, was down to see me. I mean, everybody. It's just been amazing.
Yeah. Okay, and your team, how do they look tonight? What do you think about watching them?
I'm happy to be here and enjoy them playing good.
Okay.
I think they're doing fine.
Okay. The best recovery to you. Hopefully you can get back playing here by the end of the season. Your team's going to be in the playoffs. But L.J. Woodward, offensive lineman for Central Columbia, happy that he's out of the hospital, Bob. And this guy's got a fight ahead of him, but he looks like he's on the road to recovery.
Thank you, Paul. And from Stan and I, good luck to LJ. And boy, we're glad to see him here tonight. I know Central Columbia fans are as well. Ramirez takes the kick, and he'll bring it up past the 30. So while Paul was doing the interview, you did see it. Let's take a look at this interception, Stan.
Yeah, there's pressure placed on the quarterback, and his arm gets hit. And we see Carter here is a linebacker. He intercepts the ball, shows good running ability here, cuts back, picks up a block, scores his touchdown. It's a little bit of a dagger in the heart of the Green Dragons at this particular point.
Yeah, that could be the old nail in the coffin, as they say.
Well, there's still almost a whole quarter left. They've got to protect the quarterback, though, if they're going to use the passing game to get back into this contest.
Need a couple big plays and a couple stops if you're Lewisburg. Just 8 seconds into the fourth quarter. Shaleski out to Dominic.
We're going to get a call here as well.
Okay, we got a flag down after the play.
A hold.
Grant Adams back there. Legal hands going against Lewisburg, so things not going the Green Dragons' way now. But give Central a lot of credit. They put a lot of pressure on that offensive line tonight.
They have. Their quickness is offsetting the bulk, the heft of the Green Dragons, especially their linemen.
And that's what Coach Dennis told us before the game. That's
He
what
did.
his hope was.
He did. He said they were quick up front, and they were hoping that they would be able to offset the size differential.
So if it ends Danville, Montoursville, and Central, Central and Montoursville did not play this year, so that's going to be a heck of a game if it ends up in the second round.
At the 15.
Remember, Loyalsock too. Don't forget about them. They're going to get Connor Watkins back. They're defending champs, so watch out for them in the district playoffs. Middle screen to Dominic. Couldn't get the block he wanted to spring him, but still a positive gain, about 10.
Shedleski's under a lot of pressure. There's blue shirts coming through the pass protection, and he's throwing the ball either off his back foot or he's getting his arm hit.
Brings up a 2nd and 18.
Lewisburg was worried about turnovers tonight. That has not been the problem.
Their defense has been the problem.
Yeah, well, they do have the pick 6 INT and the fumble at the goal line. So maybe it's cost them 14. So let me retract my statement.
Max Moyer's on the carry. Picks up about 2 on the play.
Cost them 14 points because they fumbled at the 1 and they drove the length of the field. Because they said it was in the end zone, the fumble.
Right.
We think it was the 1. Drove 80 yards. That, pick 6. 14 points, right?
Absolutely.
There's the difference.
And the Blue Jays are putting pressure on Sidleski. They're blitzing the linebacker besides the front four getting some penetration, and they're just not picking up the blitzes.
That time Shaleski has time. Gets downfield. Overthrows Witherite. 4th down, and he'll be forced to punt. Lewisburg looked good on the opening drive, but just took a lot of time off the clock, keeping the ball on the ground. Got it in for a touchdown. But since then, they have self-destruction. For a catch at the 40 that's where the Blue Jays will take over with a healthy lead.
I think we're going to see a lot of Isaac Gensimer here.
I think we will, yes.
Chew up this time on the clock, take their time, methodically move the ball down the field.
Time now for the Keystone College trivia question, Stan's favorite part of the evening. Okay, how many District 4 titles has Central Columbia won? And when did they win them? Okay. Tick, tick, tick. I can tell you, Scott Dennis was not the coach.
What do you mean by when? Did they win all 3 in 1 year?
1 year? No.
They've won 3. I'm going to guess and say 3.
Okay. Well, Paul Grippy has his phone out.
Of course he does.
You know, they don't allow phones in jeopardy. Okay, Paul.
Bob, is this like with Nanticoke, your question, and before they had the state championships when they won one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It might have been before I was born, right?
No.
Okay, here's my question, or here's my answer. I'm going to say they won 3, and I'm going to say 1981, 84, and 89.
Okay, your phone's wrong, so they won 3.
Oh, okay.
I said 3 as well.
I didn't say you were wrong. They've won 3. They're 3 in a row. 92, 93, 94.
Okay, so that was into the state playoffs.
Yes, some of them were.
Right.
And it was AA.
AA.
Southern was A.
Yeah.
They were AA.
Right, and yeah, okay.
How many does Lewisburg have?
I'm going to say 0.
You're correct.
Yes. Yeah. Lewisburg has been known for cross country and soccer in the fall, and past couple of years they've emerged in football.
A couple of years ago, they won the state title in soccer, boys soccer, right?
Yeah, they're always good in soccer.
And cross country, too, they won the state title.
Yes.
And they were pretty good in basketball a couple of years.
Yeah.
Still always pretty good.
Bob, here's my trivia question for you. What ocean will the island be in when you win the lottery this weekend?
The Pacific.
Yeah.
No, the Pacific is so 5 years ago. Everyone now is doing Caribbean. I'm just saying.
I thought it was the Mediterranean.
Is that what's in now?
Yeah.
Is that what's in?
Paul, when you win that Mega Millions, you better share with the staff.
I'll take you out to dinner.
Oh, really?
I'm a nice guy.
Yeah. Dinner where? Abe's Hot Dogs.
Honolulu.
Yeah, Honolulu.
Hey, we need a good hot dog once in a while.
Okay, under 9 to play.
All right.
4th down. Good job by Lewisburg. Let's not get away from the fact that they stop Central. So they get the ball back. Here comes the rush, trying to get the block. They don't get it. Low kick. Ramirez shed 1 tackle, started at his 25. Not a lot of white shirts to help him down there. And Shaletsky will come back on the field. His team will have it at the 33. 1 timeout left. Got to put it in the air, right?
Absolutely. Week 8 of Fox College football continues tomorrow as Jim Harbaugh leads his team in the rivalry game Michigan and Michigan State at noon, followed by Colorado and Washington, and the primetime matchup of Oregon and Washington State. Saturday college football on Fox 56.
This is great. I don't even have to leave my couch. Just give me the remote, and I'm
one of the great inventions of the 20th century, remote control TV. Or one of the worst inventions.
Depends, right? Romel Brown, his first catch of the night. But now, I think do you need more downfield now?
Absolutely. You need to put more pressure. But that can't happen unless that offensive line protects the quarterback. It all starts with protection.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10.
Lewisburg's ready to go, but a referee is having a conversation. I think they want to put time on the clock. Hand signal sent up to the booth. Clock will change. They go to 8:08 left, 8:08. That pass went for 0 gain. This is where you miss a Dylan Farinato. He's a game changer. You get him the ball out in space on a catch, he can go 50 yards.
You have to have other options. That young man's been out since
week three,
since week 3, and he had a very good 2 football games for the Green Dragons. But somebody's got to step up.
The Moyers have, but you mean on the wideouts?
Exactly.
Over the middle, with her right, inside Blue Jays territory, up to the 45. Fans on this side wanting a hold, no flag.
Shedleski again steps up into the pocket. Great arm strength, puts the ball right where the receiver can catch and run. It's important that the receivers catch the ball in stride and are able to pick up yards after the catch.
Little play to Moyers, up for about 8 or 9. If you're Lewisburg, you got to get on the ball quick, I think.
Well, they're 3 scores, practically 3 scores down. And there's 7 minutes to go.
Got to get the play in quick.
Yeah, I was just going to make that same comment, Bob.
Shiletsky, he's been a starter a couple years. Maybe let him make some of the calls. You just don't know. Right in the hands of number 11. Smith with his second INT of the night.
It's
a big one.
Miscommunication on that. The quarterback was throwing one route and the receiver was running another route. You'll see it here.
Right into the hands.
Right.
Zach Smith's second INT of the
Well, Coach Persing has been snake bitten the last 2 weeks. Turnovers, certainly in this particular case, it's going to be extremely difficult for the Green Dragons to even come back in this game. We're going to see a methodical approach. There's that wishbone set with the backs. Isaac Gensinger is going to get the football. And that clock is going to tick.
Takes it down to the 23-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play brings up 2nd and 7.
Although it probably won't be a factor, Bob, the fact that Lewisburg only has 1 timeout left is certainly not going to be helpful to them.
Yeah, but give a lot of credit to Lewisburg. The defense has done a nice job tonight. Some interceptions, fumble recovery, and pick 6. This guy right here, well over 100 yards, maybe 150.
You have that extra blocker. When you get in that backfield set with the 3 backs behind the quarterback, it's an extra blocker. You can at the point of attack. The only time that the Green Dragons have been really effective is when they've got some penetration, and that hasn't happened very much during the course of this football game.
Schechterly tripped up. It's really the first time tonight that I can remember that Dobler made a stop, and he's their leading tackler coming in.
Well, you mentioned that he's got a little bit of a wrist injury or hand injury. He's got a little bit of a cast on. And you don't know how that affects the player's psyche more than anything else.
At the rear of the home stands, starting in about a minute or so. So if you need a
Central going to take as much time up the 25 as they can. Back to the big fullback, and the line's doing a nice job pushing through. I mean, your linemen are downfield like Heinzelman. They're 5 yards down the field.
They're doing a great job. Again, their quickness is their asset. They get off the football, they're low, they get into the bodies, and they're able not only to neutralize the thrust of the defensive lineman, but even drive them back off the line of scrimmage.
And that was the big question mark coming into the year, was the Central Columbia offensive line. Well, tonight, it looked pretty good.
Well, Coach Dennis told us those two sophomores have done a great job for them in terms of their play. Logan Williams and Alex Eveland have really matured over the season, and that was a big question mark. And I've said this before, and I think you understand this as well, Bob, that those 5 guys wearing those uniforms from 50 to 79, they have to work in sync with each other. It's not just an individual effort, but the blocking has to be precise.
Central inside the Manuka Subaru red zone.
Great second effort for Isaac Gensimer, able to break a tackle back in the backfield and score a touchdown to really ice this game.
Plaza House Furniture touchdown. Another one for Isaac Gensimer. So another touchdown by Gensimer. Gregory on for the extra point, and Central looks like they're headed for win number 6 on the season. This is up and good, and Paul Grippy's down on the sidelines. What do you think?
Bob? Well, a great night for Isaac Genserman, a great season. Obviously, a terrific football player. Coming into tonight, he only needed 361 yards to get the school rushing record for a single season held by Brian Klingerman. So good chance that he's going to get that next week with a decent game against Bloomsburg. But Isaac is a guy who appreciates football and understands the joy of being a young man able to play. He went through a hard time 3 years ago when he lost his father, and he had to go through all that and still continue to play football, be a great athlete, be a teenager, be a high school player. And then 2 years ago, one of his teammates here at Central Columbia, Jack Sheckerly, he lost his father. Well, who was the player giving him a ton of support and remaining a close friend? Isaac was there to help Jack. So a couple players on this Central Columbia team have an understanding, a little different appreciation of what it means to be a young guy who gets to play football, and they're both outstanding. And Isaac on his way to setting records for Central Columbia, and it'll be a long time before some of those records get broken here.
Klingerman was a pretty good player himself here at Central Columbia, and you know, kid bounced back.
Well, Bob, as a coach, you really love to have kids that have great character. And certainly when you go through some adversity and you're able to be empathetic with your teammates because you've been there, it certainly tells us a lot about that young man.
Jared Verse, saw him make a nice catch at tight end, and a little nice Division I prospect. Big hit put on right there on special teams. We talked about him, and Coach was talking about how the 4x400 track team last year set a school record in districts, a district record, and then broke the district record in states. And it was all football players.
We've said that it's a great combination, track and football, and certainly the Blue Jays have excelled in both.
So now if you're Lewisburg, next week you have Mifflinburg. Again, Paul talked about their record, just 2 wins. You like to get some momentum going into the playoffs.
You do, and certainly it's a game that I'm sure that they expect to go and win very handily. But they've got to bounce back. This will be 2 losses in a row. One last week that you and I both felt was unexpected against Jersey Shore. Of course, we thought that this would be a close rivalry, but it's been all Blue Jays for the most part.
Good run by Moyer, taken down late inside Blue Jays territory.
Moyers is a quality back. He's, I don't know what the Lewisburg's record is for rushing all-time for the high school player, but he's had 2 sensational years, freshman and sophomore year.
Well, just 20 miles up the road, Crispin Field. Berwick taking on Dallas. Big game in District 2, 4A, as Moyer has it. Finals in, Coach. And Dallas comes into Crispin, beats Berwick by 3, 13-10.
There must have been a number of field goals in that game.
At least 3. Yep. Because it was 10-10 at one point in the third quarter.
Well, that's a good bounce back for Coach Manello's football team, because they really took a licking last week against Valley View. And to go to Crispin and knock off the Bulldogs is quite an achievement.
Yeah, and now Dallas will have to play Lake Lehman next week. Battle of the brown shoe. Huntington from the outside takes down Shedletsky.
Beat number 76 off the ball.
9th sack on the season for Huntington. Under 2 left, and here's what we'll have on tap next week. We'll be at Pittston area. Battle of the teams on both sides of the river. There's no name for that game. I have to come up with a name. Paul and I are going to talk. Then we'll take a week off, and we'll bounce back with some district playoffs. And then we'll have the annual Mayor's Cup game, 23rd time those 2 teams will meet to play for the Cup. That will be on Saturday the 10th. We're going to squeeze in some college basketball. Yes, college basketball season's here. We'll be out right close to here at Bucknell. Canisius in town. And then our team is back on it November 16th for another PIAA playoff game or district championship. We do not stop here on Friday Night Rivals. We continue to go. And the crew does an outstanding job.
They do. People need to know how impressive the crew behind the cameras are. They do a great job of preparation.
Max Moyers on the carry, takes it into Central territory.
Time for maybe one more play.
Spalding's in at quarterback, by the way, number 16.
Blue Jays take over on downs, 1st and 10.
So the Blue Jays tap things off with a 4-down turnover. They'll take over, take a knee, and call this one a game.
I don't think we expected the margin to be this wide. I thought it'd be a little bit more competitive, but the turnovers and the inability to score touchdowns when they were in position to do so has really hurt Lewisburg.
Pick 6, fumble into the end zone, which Central turned into an 80-yard drive in the first half. Another interception late in the game. Well, Lewisburg back to the drawing board for Coach Persink. Central will get Bloomsburg here next week. Looking for win number 7 on the year. A year ago, this team Central in Scott Dennis's 2nd season finished 9-3. Crowd's happy about it. Kids are happy. Little party action tonight in Espy.
And that'll be the last play of the game here this evening.
Thank you to the staff here at Central Columbia for everything they've helped us out with. Thank you to both coaches for helping us prepare. Paul Grippy is going to get players of the game. Coach, I don't think it's any surprise. You want to guess who's our player of the games are?
I think it might be number 5 for the Blue Jays of Central Columbia.
That's one of them?
That's one of them. And I think I'd give it to Isaac Gensimer.
Gensimer, yeah, probably near 200 yards of rushing. We'll try to find those 2 players.
It is, and any time that a running back is the player of the game, so are those 5 guys in front of him.
Yep, and I'm sure he will thank them.
If he's smart, he will.
So a nice win for Central Columbia at home, 42-16 the final. Pretty much dominated Lewisburg right from the onset. Put a nice drive together right on the opening possession of the game, even though it was an interception. They show that they can move the ball.
Devlin didn't make many mistakes tonight in terms of his decision making. I think the interception that he threw early in the first quarter was a result of poor mechanics, moving to his left. The ball just got out of control a little bit. It didn't necessarily go where he wanted it to go. Other than that, he made some big plays. I still appreciate that 4th down and 13 to go that resulted in a touchdown.
Lewisburg will fall to 5-4 on the season. Again, take on Mifflinburg next week to end the regular season, as both teams will head to the District 4 3A playoffs. Paul Grippy, what are players of the game?
Okay, Bob, quarterback first for Central Columbia. Trey, if I told you were going to beat them by 26 before tonight, what would you have thought about that?
I mean, I'd believe it. We come out every week and play the same every week, come out. I mean, it starts at the line fires off every play, gives him holes to run, gives me time. It doesn't really matter who we're playing. We're going to go 100%, and I mean, that leads to the score.
What plays were working well for you tonight as far as execution?
I mean, the run game was on all night, and that really opened it up in the passing game. So, I mean, credit to the line. I mean, they made every play work, really, just because we got the run game going early and all game, and that just made my job easier with throwing the ball to Xander and Eli, Jared. The line gives me a lot of time. The run opens everything up.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations. Also, player of the game, Isaac Gensimer. Isaac, how did it feel running behind that line tonight? What was working on the running game?
Everything was working on the run game. All the linemen were staying on blocks. I mean, Lewisburg's got some big boys up front, but we handled them just fine tonight.
Yeah. So here you go. You're in week number 9. You're at 6-3. Is that a good 6-3? What do you think of that?
It's an all right 6-3. I mean, we could have won a couple toss-up games early on in the season, but I mean, can't change it now. So. All
right, well, you'll probably be the number 3 seed heading into district playoffs, but one more game to play. Have you started thinking about Bloomsburg yet?
No, not yet, but now we all start thinking about it.
All right, it's going to be a good week. Bloomsburg next week. All right, thanks a lot. Congratulations, Isaac and Trey. Bob, they are the players of the game, and of course, they'll head into the rivalry week next week.
Thank you, Paul. Players of the game brought to you by Sunbury Motors. Coach, final statement on this game tonight?
We've had some entertaining games. We've seen some terrific runners, some terrific quarterbacks. So I'm surprised a little bit at the margin of victory. I expected it to be a little bit closer, but you got to tip your hat to the Blue Jays. They came out and fired up and executed. And I like what the players said about the offensive line. You know, I'm a big fan of offensive lines, Bob. Those people really are the unsung heroes of every successful football team, and they did a great job tonight. They were able to neutralize the size disparity that they had with the Lewisburg front 4 particularly. So you tip your hat to them.
Tip your hat to Scott Dennis. Put 3 wins in a row over this Lewisburg team. 3 straight wins now, 3 straight years. Next week, we'll wrap up the regular season, believe it or not. Week 10 of Friday Night Rivals will be in the Valley, up in Pittston, as Wyoming area comes over the Susquehanna River to battle their opponent, the Pittston area Patriots. Will be on the air next Friday night at 7. For the entire Fox 56 Sports crew, for Paul Grippy, for Stan Kaharski, this is Bob Hyde saying so long from SB.
This is Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.